Up Show, live from the YouTube Shorts feed, our first live stream where it's a lot more chill. It's like the relaxed zone, no like shouting into the microphone like the regular show, which we hope you like. Now let's talk about hedge funds. Let's talk about the big pickle. Crypto hedge funds have had a lot of money flow in, but their bags can't afford to fall like our bags. Like we can sit and hold stuff, and crypto funds do hold crypto, but they have to be careful not to hold too much as the market goes down. So what you have is a weekend and crypto hedge funds possibly sitting on way too much cash. Now, how do you know that was probably the case? Well, it was the case in equities. Those characters got absolutely caught. Like, absolutely caught. Really. I mean, some guy that I used to work for said it was a banger of a week. Want to know what that means? He works on an equity derivatives desk. And that means everybody, I mean everybody was probably panic hedging, buying futures, buying call options. Now, if that's what's going on in stonks at the all-time high, like I said earlier, like what is going to happen in Solana? What is going to happen if Bitcoin takes out like 115? Or God forbid, you know, ramps to the top of the premium zone and actually goes through it a little bit. Let me tell you something. You're going to have insane FOMO. And you're going to have people getting fired. Right? Hedge funds miss this because now hedge funds have a problem also called Bitcoin. Right? Hedge funds better outperform Bitcoin and better outperform any altcoin that's out there. Also keep in mind that like things like Ethereum, Solana, XRP were all massively down for the year. Massively down for the year. With every character on Twitter on Friday telling you that all coins were absolutely dead. Now, a bit of a personal story. I've been working with somebody on a book called Digital Dominion, which is actually out, and you know I showed it on the live stream. This book is about artificial superintelligence, and some heroes, like 2 or 3 of which are women, in a non-cheesy, non-woke way, actually have to fight this supercomputer to keep it from not only like kind of wrecking financial markets, but becoming so smart it makes its own trades. It's super scary, right? It's super scary how the author made it look real. And this kind of stuff can happen. And I know everybody's got their AI apocalypse trade, right? Oh God, you know, AI is going to put everybody out of work. And oh God, you know, AI is going to run everything. But there are ways to use AI now to find either news or picks. We can help you with news or picks. But one of the things that we don't say on the market update that we probably should say more is about the urgency of getting involved in crypto. Like Larry Fink at BlackRock made the Bitcoin ETF for a reason. Yeah, he wants to dominate, but these guys all know, right? All know, like can't say this really on the mainstream, right? That the dollar has to go massively lower. And the other thing we can't say on the stream, is that the dollar has already gone massively lower for Joe Public. Like, do you know how hurting people are? It's like a stealth depression. Really, it is. I mean, you can make 6 figures and not be able to make ends meet, right? Now, again, not exactly fun stuff, which is why we got the Digital Dominion book where we take out the hedge fund and the like, right? But getting serious about crypto and having fun doing it, like meme summer, really, it's going to be meme summer. And a lot of the things that a lot of places where we get that from is like, you know, from the planet Saturn. You know, Saturn is discipline. It's harsh. So Saturn, this is Gann work, moved into a position where not good for altcoins. That was back in September. And I was like, damn it, I missed it. Should have seen it. But Saturn's going to take a break from hammering on people. It's called retrograde. You don't have to get that. You just have to know that what's going to happen in altcoins could be freaking epic. And again, this whole idea of like hedge funds missing this, not owning it. And then, of course, there's everyone in legacy chasing the Magnificent Seven. You know, the Magnificent Seven. These characters, right? $100 million signing bonuses. Give me a break. Right? All this stuff, fake news, fake FOMO. They're panicking. Where the real panic is going to be when they figure out that they should have invested in the decentralized universe. Right? What a bunch of clowns. And this thing about XRP. All the YouTube influencers are like, oh, the court case is settled. I did some of that, right? I was like, oh, the court case is settled. Of course the court case was settled. It was done. They were just trying to get the fine reduced. And there has been a complete void of XRP research. XRP news, no one's talking about it. No one. Like the XRP community left YouTube, bailed, not interested. I mean, of course they're interested, but no one else is. And of course, we didn't discuss on the stream about the Made in America cryptos. Like, what happened to Algorand? What happened to Hedera? What happened to all this stuff, right? All these coins that have got like, you know, Hedera's got like Wendy O behind it. No one else is talking about it. I think the only influencers that are talking about Hedera are the ones that are paid to talk about it. You know, these guys have UFC partnerships, or like, you know, they have like, I don't know, they have like Fight Club for influencers. Right? There are like real cases out there. And I remember back like 2021, like we bought this stuff on promise. We bought it on theory. We didn't just buy it. It just moved. It was like, oh, the new layer one, DeFi Capital. Like everyone watched this thing called DeFi Llama. It's like ridiculous thing. Oh my God, the capital's headed for Solana. Oh my God, the capital's headed for Avalanche. Oh my God, the capital's headed for Phantom. I mean, in 2021, we did that until it just went straight up, man. I mean, I was at a disco in Bitcoin Miami, like no joke. My boss, who like, you know, he was a good guy in a lot of ways, right? I think him and the partners at this company paid $25K to get everybody at the company a special booth and table at this disco or club for Bitcoin Miami in 2021, I believe, right after the whole scare was over. That's where it was back then. Now, where are we now? Now, this is something I haven't been able to admit because it sucks. Like, you have to admit that the sentiment that's happening now is like crypto winter. And I remember, because there have been a couple times where this thing woke up out of a crypto winter. Like, you know, Bitcoin went from like 500 to 5,000. You know, ETH went from 300 to 3,000. Like, you're talking about 10xing is the average. Like, a lot of people don't get that. Like, okay, it's winter, I'm discouraged, I'm upset. Okay, you're upset. All right, fine. But what happens if you like get out or you don't own it and stuff starts 10xing in 6 weeks, right? Remember the 800-pound gorilla? Yeah. Right. Meanwhile, like I said, we're not thinking about a 10x, and everyone in legacy can't FOMO into any AI plays fast enough. Like, it's just occurred to me that, like, you know, a guy who wants to buy energy companies and bulldozer stocks because they're building data centers, he's found his way to Ethereum to a certain degree, but he hasn't found his way to Solana. None of these legacy guys have. Right? So, I mean, on one hand, BlackRock's making money. Cathie Wood's making money. Some guys are buying the Solana ETF. Some people are FOMOing into Coinbase's stock. But again, how much can a big pension fund FOMO in when the price goes straight up? This is the thing that people don't understand. Like when you have something like Circle 10x, it 10x because there was no seller and nobody was able to buy it. The big funds either got it in the beginning when it IPO'd or they missed it. That's why it 10x'd. And then you look at Coinbase and you wind up with the same thing. Oh yeah, Coinbase goes to like $400. Like, oh, okay. What is that a sign of? That there's just no sellers. Seriously, there's absolutely no sellers. It's like, want to get a car? Want to have a girlfriend? Want to be cool? Look, I know I do, right? I know I am just absolutely over being a small fry. This is stuff I don't talk about. You know, one guy called me, you know, because I get to talk to a larger group of influencers every now and then, and one guy who handles sponsorships, he called me a micro influencer. Yeah, I'm done with that. Seriously. Like, one of the best things about crypto is that you can get involved and free yourself from whatever trap or whatever bullshit story you got in your head. You know, that's what it's really all about. It's like, why am I doing this? Why am I like live 5 days a week? You know, I got a producer who's, you know, doing a lot of work out of the kindness of his heart, right? Tobie is a completely misunderstood person. Why are we doing this? Well, because this is like the path to like getting out of the you-know-what. And then there's a lot of talk, right? You getting messed up in the head, like, oh, you know, all the big players like Altcoin Daily and, you know, like Wendy else, like they own the whole space. Maybe, or there's time for like me and you and maybe the little guy to like get involved, right? Means Nada says, how is HBAR not going up? How is Solana not going up? WTF, right? He also says this market sucks. Yeah, this market does suck. It does. It sucked on Friday, and you know what? It still sucks now. When I look over at it, right, it just can't seem to muster 2 days in a row. But I'm going to tell you something. I've talked a little bit about this, but like, let's just say, you know, I'm up a lot overnight. Okay. London's bought it every day. And then New York comes in and smacks it. And you know what that is? That's total manipulation. Complete manipulation, right? Most days I think I'm absolutely mad for buying each week, says GG306G. Can you believe YouTube took people's names and now I have to refer to you by your YouTube handle? You know, it's like the inhuman agenda. I don't know. Yeah, the market sucks, right? Your videos haven't shown up on my feed since early SEC lawsuit days. Well, dude, that's why we're going live from the shorts feed. I got told it's like the new thing. I got no problem talking, right? So we do like the big boomer mic for YouTube Live. Now we're talking about this. We're talking about this. We're talking about XRP. We're talking about Solana. How could we not be? It's like, you got to be kidding. Like, I'm looking at this now. You know, AERO's at 70 cents. Right? Well, actually, let me move this over here. Again, forgive me. This is like the first time we're doing it on the shorts feed. So let me get this so I'm like looking at it with you. Okay? You look at this, right? Just think about the prices. S&P at 6,200. You know what the bottom of SPX was in 2008? 666. They added a digit to it in 17 years. They 10x the S&P. If they can 10x the S&P, what is going to happen to MicroStrategy? And listen, man, I ought to tell you something. There's Michael Saylor, and then there's like 2 or 3 other guys that are out there. And when you read this Digital Dominion book, you start to get the flavor, particularly if there's some ASI that gets into the market. Listen, man, you got to have a digital currency. And this guy, Michael Saylor, who's all loaded up, he's got what's called a moat around that company. No company can do what he does. All these Bitcoin treasury companies, everyone thinks they're all stupid. And probably, like a year from now, right before the midterm election surprise, which I don't talk about, right? When the New York City mayor's election turns into the national election for the U.S. legislature, Congress, or Parliament, yeah, all right. But in the meantime, you're going to have the greatest crypto rally anyone's ever seen. Anyone's ever seen. Because what alternative is there for humanity? There isn't any. Oh my God, Chase Wright says hi. my best to chase right. I worked with a bunch of guys at this place called Token Metrics. Literally, if you look back from the last cycle, it was an all-star team. It's going to wind up being the who's who of crypto. I mean, one guy went from being an analyst to being a fund manager. You know, one guy is so big now in the venture capital world, the poor guy got hacked, right? And it made Twitter and Cointelegraph, right? There's a way to get big, and there's a way to get big fast if you got the right ideas in crypto. And these Bitcoin mining stocks, like when people figure out that the stock market and the crypto market, like my friend Tobie says, that the author of the book, says that one no longer has anything to do with the other. Like the guys in legacy still don't get this. Like they got their feet wet a little bit with like Circle and Coinbase. They have no idea what's about to happen here. The FOMO into these ETFs, like, you know, this FOMO is contagious. Like, I understand. Winter is contagious in crypto, right? Everything goes up, everything goes down, it stays down. One guy says, I buy, I cry. FOMO is also contagious, particularly in legacy. Some crypto IPO comes out, they assume it's going to 10x, so they just FOMO in. And they keep FOMOing in, right? And then they do another IPO, and then they FOMO into that. This is what happened in 2000. I was there for 1999 and 2000 when it was the innovator, the imitator, and the idiot, where they just kept IPOing everything that came out. Like first it was Dell and real computer companies, and then it was drcoop.com. I mean, let's talk about how far away crypto is from that. You know, I guess that was a little bit like meme coins. So in the beginning of the dot-com phase, like I said, Dell, big companies. And at the end, it was Dr. Coop, this funny-looking guy, literally with this like goofy beard, right? He lends his name to a bunch of people putting healthcare information on the internet, kind of like healthcare Wikipedia. Startup was worth like, you know, tens of millions. 5 people sitting on milk crates in Austin, Texas, writing healthcare websites. You know, these things IPO'd and had huge value. Well, in crypto, we're at the start of that, right? Circle, Coinbase, and then again, no one's discovered Solana. Now, of course, legacy thinks volatility is bad, right? It goes all the way up, it goes all the way down, no one wants to deal with it. No, everyone thinks XRP is a centralized poo coin that no one's ever gonna want because it's too volatile. That's what they said about Bitcoin until it went straight up and the whole world piled in. Seriously, right? So everything's too volatile. I can't do it. Well, you don't realize that what Michael Saylor says is that volatility is energy. Volatility is energy, right? Victor says hi, welcome, a YouTube member. We do have a YouTube member area where you can listen to chill podcasts like this, except it's me and Tobie, who's like your friendly neighborhood Solana psychic, clairvoyant genius, right? I kind of interview her and we talk back and forth, and she tells me to shut up because we start off with the apocalypse, right? Like World War Z. You know, everyone was trading tariffs, then everyone was a geopolitical expert. Everybody was Googling the Strait of Hormuz. Meanwhile, Solana was at 130. Do you see the lunacy of following the herd? Hey, it's crazy. You follow the herd, you go over the cliff. Right? The herd was like World War Z, and then all of a sudden everyone's at the beach and Solana's moving. You know, and what happens if Solana moves and then, you know, you come in on Monday, right, looking at the screen now, forgive me for looking off. You know, you look off the screen, and what happens if AERO and Cardano are next? And everybody thinks that Cardano can't do anything. There's nothing useful running on Cardano until you get some stablecoin running on it. Or some AI agent. Like originally, AGIX, Singularity.net, was considered a Cardano play. That's just an example. That's just an example. You know, and transactional coins. Like I didn't cover Litecoin in the stream. Oh my God, I'm trying to get to my screen. I didn't cover Litecoin. Now I'm pulling up Litecoin and you can't see it, but that's okay. because I forget to share the screen all the time on the regular stream. I don't know. Litecoin on tariffs was down at 70. It's currently at 86. What do you think normies are going to do when they go, oh, wow, I can get a Litecoin below 100? Right? I can get it below 100. Man, I could take 20% of a paycheck maybe and get 2. What do you think they're going to do? I can tell you what they do. I know what my brother did in 2021. Still held most of it. He just FOMO'd in. Hey, people who love to gamble. Oh my God, the Chinese love to gamble. People love to gamble, right? And Coinbase has got, they got boomer coins like Stellar and Litecoin and Bitcoin Cash, which most crypto people think is a joke, which is why I think this thing can go so much higher. Because you can have across the market rally one sector at a time. And what is going to happen? I can tell you what's going to happen because it already happened in Circle and Coinbase. You're going to have fear of missing out. So anything that starts going up is going to keep going up. So right now people in crypto are like, now this thing sucks. It can't put back-to-back days together. I get it. Yeah, I get it. That sucks. I have a bag. Right? You just look at it. You're like, you do a live stream. Like, it's like the post-game report. It's like, yeah, okay, let's go. Let's go. It's fucking down the next day. Fucking down the next day, right? But the psychological discouragement, that's why it's winter, right? That's what winter does. You're chronically discouraged, and then all of a sudden, you turn around, and it's gone. It's gone. And the stuff that you know is good, you missed, right? You missed. Okay, so I'm going to wrap it up there. This is my first time giving it a go on the shorts feed. Looks like we have 35 people here, 10 people. We have Smash Satoshi Nakamoto. People are fading Bitcoin Cash. Yeah, don't do it, man. Don't do it. So we appreciate you tuning in on the shorts feed. If you like the chill market update post game, let me know. Or if you want something else on the shorts feed, we definitely appreciate you tuning in. We will see you next time.